Aloha. I had to share this because it's hilarious and it's only 3 minutes, and I just wanted to. Oh my god, you'll see. I'm just gonna play. It's just funny as shit to see how they have to sell this stuff to people and to see automatically. So, this is trending. Obviously, it needs to be trending because Stephen Hawking is telling you about star stuff. But apparently they're getting ready to send something to Alpha Centauri with the laser. This is what. Anyway, I just wanted to share what this stuff looks like how the algorithm is set up and how they throw in these little they're like little things, but they're not little things. They throw in the moon landing and CERN real quick, just like in I think it was in one of the Avengers movie, or one of these latest Marvel movies, where they threw in CERN, some kind of big movie, but they throw in this stuff in Hollywood movies, but they also kind of like make it more important to you by putting it in these so-called scientific stories or videos, and then use these people who are supposed to be super smart, like Einstein smart, to sell it to you. So I'll play it and then just go with it so you can see what I'm talking about.
Let's get this straight. A bunch of scientists, including Stephen Hawking, want to send a tiny spacecraft to the next closest star.
Okay, first of all, let's get this straight, and then a bunch of scientists plus Stephen Hawking. So basically, this is scripture. This is like, you can't say anything else. Nothing else exists, because this is basically today's Einstein. And shut up and take this nowadays scripture. This is what it's about. Science, shut up. We can do this. Give us $100 million. We're going to this place. Right here.
Using a giant laser.
Okay.
Russian billionaire Yuri Milner has already invested $100 million into the project.
Alright, so he's got $100 million in there, plus it's Stephen Hawking. So that means it's actually real. Like, this is very important. You gotta believe this, though.
To see if this type of technology can actually work. So let's break this idea down a bit.
Okay.
It's known as laser propulsion and works exactly how it sounds. A laser beam is used to propel a vehicle very rapidly through space. It's kind of like using a hose to push a ball forward.
Yeah, they're using a hose, alright.
Light carries momentum just like the water from the hose, though it's nowhere near as powerful. But if you have a big enough laser and a small enough spacecraft, you can potentially transmit enough force to the probe so that it moves very, very fast. That's what Hawking and Milner want to do. The idea is to create a tiny wafer-sized...
So this is where they show those pictures right there. That's what Hawking and Miller want to do. That's what they're saying. This is what science and money wants to do. And you just shut up, because you don't know science and you ain't got no money. So just give us this tax money, invest in NASA, shut the fuck up and let us... This is what's happening. And we're needing 20 more years of your tax money to... do this. That's what all these little videos are about, is just to get you more and more believing in this artificial program to put time out, like give your belief system more time to lock into their grid, or get your kids to trust this more. Your kids are watching this video too. They're believing NASA's real. And as long as they keep saying, oh, we're going to go to Mars in 10 years. Oh, we're going to do this in 15 years. Oh, we're going to do this in 20 years. You're living in the future on an artificial reality.
Spacecraft connected to a reflective sail that stretches a few meters wide but is only a few atoms thick. It's kind of like the Planetary Society's solar sail concept, which uses the sun's light to move through space. The wafer is also meant to hold a number of miniaturized instruments, including a power supply, cameras, and a communication system.
And bullshit.
Once the spacecraft is positioned in orbit, then it's time to turn on the laser, or actually lasers. First, that involves building an array of laser amplifiers on Earth that take up about 1 square kilometer.
Satellites.
One laser is fed into these amplifiers, which break the light apart into thousands of beams. The directions of those beams can be adjusted to form one giant beam of light that travels up out of Earth's atmosphere and hits the spacecraft's sail. The lasers will be turned on for about 3 to 5 minutes, sending the probe through space at 1/5 the speed of light. At that pace, the spacecraft should get to Alpha Centauri in a mere 20 years.
Oh my god.
That may seem like a long time, but you have to remember that Alpha Centauri is 4 light years away.
Oh.
That's 25 trillion miles.
Wow.
For comparison, NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft has been traveling to Alpha Centauri at 40,000 miles per hour since 1977.
That's what it's been doing since 1977.
And it's only 0.005% of the way there.
0.05.
Starshot sounds really cool, but there's still a lot of work to be done before this idea can become a reality. The array of lasers needed for propulsion has never been built before, and scientists still need to figure out how to miniaturize all the instruments on board the spacecraft. That includes miniaturizing a communication system that can span 4 light years of space. The sail also poses an engineering challenge. It needs to be made extra robust so that it can withstand
extra robust
through space. And it
because
must be as reflective
regular
as possible.
robust,
if it absorbs too much laser light,
regular robust just wouldn't make it. They need to be extra
the
robust.
sail could melt. Additionally, the path between Earth and Alpha Centauri isn't exactly empty. The chances of hitting something big like an asteroid are small, but lots of interstellar dust still stands in the way.
Look how she's selling this. Like it's small. Like there's so supposedly there's like micrometeors all over the place and all this other stuff all over the place. And there's no way of calculating what would happen between here and 4 light years away. But since they made this CGI to put it in your face, there and have her say it like, oh yeah, it's difficult, but we can do it. We can shove a laser up an atom kite. An atom thick kite and shoot it over to Alpha Centauri for $100 million in just 20 years. Give me a break.
And with the spacecraft moving at 1/5 the speed of light, hitting just a tiny speck of dust will pack a big punch. Engineers will have to build a redundancy system for the sail so that it can withstand a few high-speed dust collisions.
You know what?
Way.
This is a redundancy system. That's.
And of course, there's always money to consider. The $100 million from Yuri Milner will help jumpstart some of the research and development needed to prove this technology.
Yeah, so this is just his jumpstart. It's just $100 million, just a kicker, just a Kickstarter, because they need $100 billion of your tax money between now and 20 years from now to actually do it, or whenever they're going to do it.
It actually works. But a project like this is comparable to CERN or the Apollo program.
See?
It's going to need billions of dollars to succeed.
It's comparable to CERN and the Apollo program, which is just a program for you to say, oh, this is real, oh, that's real. So whenever they bring out their agenda for CERN, then you just buy right into it. Why? Because you believe in the moon landing and you believe in super scientists as your preachers. So that's it.
That means it could be many years before we see this spacecraft even start its journey to Alpha Centauri. Interested in a much slower form of space transportation? Check out our video on the ExoMars mission. Or if
we got videos upon videos upon videos.
Planet 9 at the edge
we
of our
break down
system.
Everything. Yeah. With them jazz hands, it's magic. I should tell you, it's full of shit. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. So, thank you for joining me. Until next time, peace, love, and harmony.